President of the Republic of the Philippines.
sight than the smile of a Filipino. And that is something that we can introduce to the world.
The Philippines. Love the Philippines! Tonight, we gather for this most important milestone for the Philippines, celebrating 50 years of the Department of Tourism, half a century devoted to developing, appreciating, and promoting our beautiful country, honoring the work of the tens of thousands of people across the entire tourism sector in this half century of promoting the Philippines. Foremost, I would like to thank our President for setting the tone very early on in his administration for the robust recovery of the tourism industry by indicating and articulating that tourism is a priority. His Excellency, President Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr. By our President's prioritization of tourism in his development agenda, this has resulted in a whole of government approach towards the development of our industry, where no one is left behind as the Philippines enters this new era of tourism. I thank my fellow cabinet secretaries who have assisted the Department of Tourism through our partnerships and collaborations. And present here this evening is Secretary Jimmy Bautista. I also see Sec Cheloy Garafil, our Presidential Advisor, Sec Paul Soriano. And as we continue the work of developing the tourism industry and enter 2024 with renewed optimism, we thank in advance our members of the House of Representatives for your support for the Department of Tourism. We have with us Deputy Speaker Duke Frasco, Deputy Speaker Raymond Mendoza, Deputy Speaker Camille Villar, accompanied by the members of the House of Representatives. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Tonight, we honor the service and sacrifice of all those who have come before us, and they have graced us with their presence this evening. Truly, we are blessed by the presence of our former Department of Tourism secretaries. May I please ask our former DOT secretaries to kindly rise to be given a rousing round of applause by our DOT family. Thank you so much for your service to our nation. As we mark 50 years of the Department of Tourism, we thank as well our fellow officials of the Department of Tourism, from the central office to our regional offices to our attached agencies, to all of the employees of the Department of Tourism. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Even as we express our profound gratitude to our private stakeholders across the tourism sector, including our friends from the media and fellow workers in government. As we cap the last 50 years of the DOT and welcome this new era of tourism for the Philippines, it is but right that we welcome this opportunity to reintroduce the Philippines to the world. Love the Philippines goes to the very heart of every single Filipino, with the distinct grace and hospitality with which we welcome every guest that comes into our shores, our communities, and our homes. Love the Philippines is a recognition of our natural assets, our storied history, our rich culture and diversity. There is so much more to the Philippines than the fun and adventure that we have so far articulated to the world. For the Philippines is a powerhouse of mega biodiversity, being only one of 18 mega biodiverse countries in the world, a deep well of culture and history, a profound burst and taste of flavor and gastronomy, a tapestry of indigenous peoples and creative communities by whose work of their hands have safeguarded the dignity and integrity of the Filipino identity. This is who we are. These complexities and nuances of the Philippines have yet to be fully articulated to the world, for indeed, the story of the Filipino has yet to be fully told. And we shall tell this story by telling them the story of love. Love the Philippines. Our fellow tourism nations in the United Nations World Tourism Organization, in a recent survey, has identified brand repositioning and re-strategizing as a priority in their tourism development agendas. And indeed, if we are to compete with our neighbors in our effort as well to partner with them for Asia to become a powerhouse tourism region in the world, the time has come for us to add to the value proposition of the Philippines by telling the world how much more we have to offer. We have multiple facets of our tourism destinations that present a golden opportunity, for we have only scratched the surface thus far. And certainly, the world has noticed that there is so much to love about the Philippines. For while we have only reached half of this year, we have already been able to accept over 2.62 million international visitors, very near our 2.65 million arrivals for 2022. We thank our fellow Filipinos for supporting domestic tourism with no less than 102 domestic trips taken last year, resulting in 1.5 trillion pesos in domestic tourism revenues. This has in turn contributed to 6.2% of our gross domestic product, and overall, the Philippines in 2022 has generated no less than 1.87 trillion pesos in tourism revenues. Most importantly, all of these accomplishments under the Marcos administration has resulted in jobs, livelihood, employment to no less than 5.35 million Filipinos employed across the Philippines in various tourism sectors. With the Philippines' approval of the National Tourism Development Plan, the Department of Tourism, on our golden anniversary, says without reservation that we will go for gold and make the Philippines a tourism powerhouse in Asia. Our President started with the liberalization of entry protocols in line with his efforts to convey the Philippines' openness to the world for travel and tourism. And while it has not yet been a year, we have already participated in various expos around the world that has generated over 3 billion pesos in revenues for the country. We have also continued promoting our country to our fellow Filipinos, marking the Mindanao Tourism Expo, the North Luzon Expo, as well as the recently concluded Central Philippines Expo. For the very first time, the Philippines now has its very own hop-on, hop-off bus tours comparable to key cities around the world. Recognizing that the Filipino tourism worker is the best asset of Philippine tourism, thus far, we have been able to train nearly 70,000 in the Filipino brand of service excellence. Thank you so much for all the hard work of our regional offices. to encourage our fellow Filipinos to become tourism ambassadors for the Philippines all over the world, we have launched the Bisita Be My Guest program that offers incentives for overseas Filipinos who invite their foreign friend, guest, or spouse to the Philippines in exchange for prizes. Among the first partnerships that we entered into with our fellow government agencies was with the DICT. And upon the direction of the President, thus far we have been able to power up over 46 destinations out of 94 that now have stronger internet access. With a collaboration of the DOTR, for which we thank Sec Bautista, we have been able to see a doubling in the number of flights for our key and secondary gateways, including Clark as well as Mactan. If you have been to NAIA Terminal 2 lately, this collaboration has resulted in the immediate warmth of the Filipino welcome that you can feel as you arrive, as the work of our local furniture makers and artisans now pepper the interiors of the airport. Our President would like to enhance the tourism experience overall, and that is why all over the Philippines now we have begun to build 10 tourist rest areas that have an information center, pasalubong center to help our MSMEs, and clean and decent public restrooms for our tourists to use. We are adding 10 more to these tourist rest areas at least this year. To add to the many good news in Philippine tourism, most recently, our fellow tourism nations from all over the world have conveyed their confidence in the Philippines as we reintroduce ourselves to the world by electing the Philippines the Vice President of the United Nations World Tourism Organization General Assembly after 24 long years. Along with our election as the chairman of the Commission on East Asia and the host for next year's Joint Commission meetings for East Asia and South Asia. The world is telling us how beautiful our country is, for indeed, in 2022, the Philippines was declared the world's leading beach destination, the world's leading dive destination, and Asia's leading tourist attraction, in addition to the Philippines now being the world's leading country for tourism. Palakpakan po natin ang Pilipinas. As we usher in this golden era for tourism, for our fellow Filipinos, for our beautiful country, let us find it in our hearts to have that burning pride of place for the Philippines, love the Philippines, and to usher us into the continued recovery and vigorous comeback of the Philippines to the world. It is my honor to introduce our President, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much to our Tourism Secretary, Secretary Cristina. Please take your seat. Secretary Cristina Frasco. Also with us is the Cebu's 5th District Representative and Deputy Speaker, Congressman Duke Frasco. The former secretaries of the Department of Tourism, and I was just thinking that we really have to say that if we achieve anything today, it is because we stand on the shoulders of giants. So thank you for all the service that you have given the Philippines. All my fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am delighted to join you tonight, and this is a very momentous occasion, celebrating the golden anniversary of the Department of Tourism. In the past 5 decades, the department has been at the forefront in promoting the beauty of our country and an active advocate of developing a stronger sense of pride amongst Filipinos. Over the years, the Department of Tourism has institutionalized an industry that became a major driver of economic growth and shaped our global trademark. Indeed, the potential of the tourism industry as an economic pillar was well seen by my father when he established the Department of Tourism in 1973. And by the way, I'd also like to acknowledge the family members of Manong Pepito Joe Aspiras, who was the first Secretary of Tourism upon the creation of the department. Carrying this optimism forward, I am affirming my commitment to advancing this country's tourism industry. This prioritization goes deeper than merely stimulating economic activities and generating job opportunities. It springs from the genuine love that you, me, and all of us have for the Philippines. And what better way to express that love than by directly incorporating it into our country's newest tourism campaign slogan, Love the Philippines. This is new branding which we unveiled today. It will serve as our guidepost for the Philippine tourism industry moving forward. Allow me then to express my sincere appreciation to Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco and for the DOT team. Because aside from the promotion of the country's tourist destination, the campaign that you have conceptualized aims to enhance the overall experience of every traveler. Included in that list of targets are to promote regional products, build more infrastructure for ease of travel, and champion green movements, amongst others. These plans are laid down in detail in the National Tourism Development Plan for 23 to 28, which was approved last March. The 5-year plan stemmed from this administration's determination to implement programs that will positively transform our country towards being a tourism powerhouse in Asia in the coming years. Let us therefore strive to translate our golden vision into reality, which also encapsulates this year's milestone theme of Ginto, or Greater Innovations, New Tourism Opportunities. Let this serve as our inspiration as we continue to recover from the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, to which the tourism sector was undoubtedly one of the hardest hit. Thankfully, strengthened by our communal spirit and fueled by our Filipino determination, a passion to serve, we were able to bounce back and to recuperate. Time and again, we continue to validate that resilient spirit of the Filipinos that is the ultimate driving force which gives us the strength and courage to continue to always move forward. With that being said, I'm happy to see the latest data on the status of our tourism sector. We continue to see improving figures in tourism revenues, employment, international arrivals, and domestic trips. All of these are encouraging signs that the tourism industry in our country as a whole is headed well towards full recovery. It also conveys a strong message to the world that we are ready and fully equipped to welcome tourists, travelers, as well as investors. To further highlight the department's achievements and triumphs over the years, we are graced by the presence of our former DOT Secretary. This anniversary celebration is also dedicated, of course, to the employees, both the previous and current workforces of the DOT and its attached agencies all over the country. All this is a product of your hard work. Thank you. You are the main drivers in the promotion of our beautiful country. I urge you to continue in your role in sustaining the momentum that we have built towards improving our tourism landscape. Moreover, this night is also about honoring our partners in the private sector and our other tourism stakeholders. To everyone in the industry who offer their services to our guests, to our travel agents, to our hotel staff, airline crews, boat operators, everyone who welcomes our tourists with their warm and bright smiles, to make certain that they have a great and memorable experience, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. The genuine warmth of the Filipino people is indeed our greatest asset. The hospitality that we extend to visitors, both local and foreign, is a unique characteristic that is innately embedded in the social fabric of being a Filipino. And it is something that we should all be very proud of. Thank you for supporting the various government projects and for strictly complying with our laws which aim to protect and promote the overall welfare of our country. Let us maintain this partnership. Keep introducing the Philippines to the world as a top-tier tourist hub. On that note, I call on the entire Filipino nation to allow yourselves to be our country's tourism ambassadors. I enjoin you all to be our country's promoters, advocates, and if I may borrow a coined term in this age of social media, be our country's top influencers. Indeed, the Philippines will never run out of places to discover, of meals to enjoy, adventures to experience, people to meet, talents to admire. Let's take pride and celebrate the love we have of our country and our people. For it is the same love that gave meaning to the establishment of the Department of Tourism, and the same love that will propel our tourism industry moving forward into the future. Once again, happy 50th anniversary to the Department of Tourism. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, we would like to call on Tourism Secretary Frasco to present the plaque of appreciation for former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The Department of Tourism recognizes with profound gratitude the vital role of the late President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. to the department. As such, we are honored to present this posthumous plaque of recognition. Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, we would like to request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. May we invite on stage the senators, representatives, and cabinet secretaries. Once again, we would like to invite on stage the senators, representatives, and cabinet secretaries. We would also request the DOT former secretaries to please prepare by the side of the stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. May we invite on stage the DOT former secretaries. May we request the DOT officials to please prepare and stand by the side of the stage. Thank you. Kindly exit to your right. May we invite on stage the DOT officials. We would like to request as well the heads of attached agencies to kindly prepare by the side of the stage. Once again, we would like to request the heads of the attached agencies to please prepare by the side of the stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Now we would like to invite on stage the heads of attached agencies. At the same time, we would like to request the DOT regional directors to please prepare at the side of the stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Now let's invite on stage the DOT regional directors. We'd also like to request the DOT central office directors and anniversary committee to please prepare. Thank you. Kindly exit to your right. Now I would like to invite on stage the DOT Central Office Directors and Anniversary Committee. Thank you very much. Kindly exit to the right side of the stage. Thank you, Mr. President, for granting us a photo opportunity. That concludes our program. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing the 50 years Philippine tourism celebration. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.